Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mila, you're at Alexandrian Archives. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. As you can tell by the title of this video, a few things have changed. This is the update video for the Musaeum Society Book Club, as well as the announcement for the rest of the books from July through December. So the reason why I wanted to make this video early is so that you can all plan, get the holds in, get the pre-orders in, get the orders in, all that fun stuff. So the original book for June, as shown in the first video I made for this, right, the initial announcement, was supposed to be the Dead Cattail Assassins. Unfortunately, it has been pushed to now being in August, and I have decided to choose a completely different book. If you want to still read it once it's published, feel free to do so. It is just now not going to be part of the repertoire for the Musaeum Society Book Club. So, yeah, I decided not to keep it, but please feel free to read the book if you do want to. It sounds pretty cool. I think I'll be reading it once it's published. But yeah, so I do have another June book. I do have a book that I'm picking for June. The new June book is Inanna by Emily H. Wilson. Cover. It is set in ancient Mesopotamia. It follows Inanna, the Mesopotamian goddess of love and war, but we don't know that yet. Gilgamesh, the first known hero, known sort of demigod. He is a demigod. He's the son of the gods. And Ninshubar, which I haven't really heard of, but she's a powerful woman warrior who is cast from her tribe. And if you do want some context, I recommend reading the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's not particularly long, just so you have some background information on who Gilgamesh is, on who Inanna is. She's also known as Ishtar. So those are the same goddess, different names, different time periods, I guess. A thing to note is it is the first book in a trilogy. The second book comes out in August of this year, so you don't have to wait very long, just like 2 months for the sequel to come out, which is why I timed it pretty well, I think. Yeah, so that is the new June book, and as usual, everything will be down below. Everything is on the Storygraph challenge, and do join the book club Discord, please. So yeah, and feel free to follow me on my social media for my Alexandrian Archive social media, as well as the Musaeum Society Book Club Instagram page, which I do have and I do use once in a while. So, the July book, there are 2 July books, just because, why not? We have Foul Days by Genoveva Dimova, which I read in archive and loved, so I think you all will love it as well. I believe that to be true. This is Slavic folklore, as well as specifically Bulgarian folklore, because the author is Bulgarian. This follows a witch named Kasara, who lives, wow, I cannot read my handwriting clearly, who lives in Chernograd, a walled city full of monsters, and outside of it is Belgrad. So Chernograd comes from like the word chorne, like black, and Belgrad comes from the word like bele is white. So Chernograd is the one with the monsters. It's dark, it's grim, it's gritty, it's dirty. Everyone wears dark colors, whereas Belgrad, they're all happier, they're more colorful in terms of clothing, which is funny. So it doesn't match. This is Belgrad, this is Chernograd. It's hilarious, it's great. But yeah, so her ex is Zmei, the Tsar of monsters, and the one monster she can't seem to escape. So there are loads of monsters. There's Kikimoras, there's Rusalkas, there's a bunch of other creatures that I actually don't know about, because they're also specifically Bulgarian folklore and not in general Slavic folklore. Or like, Western Slavs, Southern Slavs, or I'm Russian, so Eastern Slav. But yeah, and she trades her shadow in exchange for passage to Belgrad and forms an alliance with the unlikeliest person, a cop from Belgrade. And you guys are gonna love this man. You guys are gonna love this man. Do check trigger warnings, please, 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 because May is meant to represent an abusive partner. There is mentions, there's like flashbacks of abuse, and please check trigger warnings. As I said, everything will be down below. Please, please, please check trigger warnings. If it's too much, you don't have to read it. Not the end of the world. And book 2 is out in October of 2024, and it's only duology, so you also don't have to wait too long for that. So yeah, July book 2 is Babylonia by Contanza Casati. There's admittedly very little information about this. I don't know when the US publication date is, unfortunately. I do know the UK publication date, which is before the July, since it's a July book, so it's before that. Unfortunately, I don't know the US publication date, so you guys might have to procure the UK edition. Sorry about that, but I'm very excited to read it. So it is set in ancient Assyria. It takes from Mesopotamian legend. Follows Saran as the only female ruler of Assyria, and this is the same author as Clytemnestra, this one. And as I said, you may have to procure a book from UK. I'm not sure of the North American pub date. August! The August book is Darker by 4 by June C.L. Tan. This is a duology. This is the author of Jade Firegold, which you know I love, so I was very excited to learn about this. This is pitched as Shadowhunters meets Chinese diaspora folklore. We have 3 MCs. Rui, who wants to avenge her mom with the magic that she possesses. Yiran, who is a black sheep born into an illustrious family without magic, unfortunately. And Nikai, a reaper who serves the 4th king of hell. His master disappears, and if they don't find a new king, the underworld will crumble and the human realm is next. So Rui's magic accidentally transfers from Yiran, and basically all hell breaks loose. Wow! This is crazy. It's so bright. Oh my goodness. This is nuts. There. I think it's a little better. Okay, sorry about that. It's really bright. There we go. That's a little better. I just got like really bright. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I actually have an ARC, and yes, I will be reading in advance, and yes, you will get a review and everything, but yes, I'm very excited for you guys to read this. Wow. Wowza. Wowza. This is strong. Anyways, we continue. September is The Will of the Many by James Islington. I think everyone and their mothers have been raving about their book, including me, except my mother doesn't really read dark academia. Anyways, this is dark academia and fantasy. It follows an orphan who's actually secretly a prince, but his family was murdered and he managed to run away, and so he becomes an orphan. He gets adopted by this very, very powerful man. This is inspired by the Roman Republic because you have positions such as Sextus, Septimus, Octavius, something like that. And the magic system is interesting. I don't want to spoil it too much, not gonna lie, so I'm not gonna tell you. But please read this book for September if you would like, because I've already read it and I love it. But yeah, it has found family, mystery, romance, deadly competition. I don't want to say anymore because otherwise you need to go into this book with like nothing. Like you don't know, you know the bare bones, because then it will hit. Wow. It is so bright. Whew. Okay, October has 2 books. Why? Because why not? The first book for October is Vultures in the House of Silence by A.R. Latif. I recently found out this book and I'm like, where the heck has this been all my life? So this is similar to The Judas Blossom, which is somewhere. somewhere. It is somewhere. So this follows, this is a historical dark fantasy. This follows, so a boy wakes up surrounded by corpses. He's attacked, I guess, by vultures until he starts to speak and they listen. And this is his journey following the Mongol invasion of Baghdad, which is what happened in the Jujutsu Blossom as well. And as I said in that review of the book, which I will link down below, it's not a time period that people often talk about in books, that they explore in books, which oh my god, I'm obsessed with this time period now. I need to read this so bad. So yeah, please do check it out and follow the author. He seems like a cool guy. And his author, based on his author website, he seems to have some very interesting book ideas and that like stuff that he's writing. So I'm very excited to read that as well as all his other works. And he actually, oh my god, it was the most touching thing. His dedication was specifically to the people of like Syria, Palestine, all those places that are being oppressed, that are being bombed and everything. And I thought that was absolutely phenomenal to see that. And that's why I'm even more excited to read this one. Well, this is going to be fun to edit. Anyways, October book 2. I actually don't unfortunately know the cover for this because there hasn't been a cover reveal for this, but the book is This Fatal Kiss by Alicia Jasinska. I hope I said that right. This is a Polish author. She's writing, this is Slavish and Polish folklore. This follows Gisela, a Rusalka, and Kaigen, the grandson of a local witch who's trying to get rid of unholy creatures such as Gisela. And after Kaigen watches Gisela's exorcism, they strike a deal. She won't say his losing magic. He helps her if he helps her get a kiss. Plan goes awry when Kaigen falls for the young man Gisela had in mind. This has a polyamorous relationship. If you're not comfortable with that, don't read it. That's why you have Vultures in the House of Silence. Wow, the amount of times I keep mixing up that title is ridiculous. Yeah, so that's October book 2. November book is The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is a Holmes and Watson style pairing. I am so excited. Also, I think this is one of the first books where it's a hardcover, but it's like wraparound, so it doesn't have the sleeve. And I'm so excited that this has started to become a thing in like North American like publishers, because it's so much easier to have the wraparound than to have like the sleeves. Wow. Can we just focus here, please? Can I just... It's not working. It is not working. Anyways, so Holmes and Watson style pairing. High Imperial officer is dead, and I think it said that he had like a tree coming out of his body, which is like, well, like impossible and also terrifying. So we have Anna Delabra, who's the investigator, and she's very quirky and sort of almost two steps ahead of you, hence the Sherlock Holmes vibe. And then we have her new assistant, Denius Cole, who is an engraver magically altered to possess a perfect memory. And as they continue to uncover the mystery of the killing, they uncover a scheme that threatens the safety of the Empire. I am very excited to read this. I think it's out already, but yeah, there you are. So yeah. And the last book is The Sword of for December. Wow, okay. The book for the month of December is The Sword of Kaigen by Emil Wang. I think this is another one that everyone and their mothers have read because it is insanely popular on BookTube and BookTalk and Bookstagram, and yeah, I tend to avoid books that are really popular, even if my favorite booktubers are like, read this. Yeah. So I'm just gonna read from the computer because I was too lazy to write it down. My hand was already hurting. I'm like, why did I decide to do this? So it says, a mother struggling to repress her violent past, a son struggling to grasp his violent future, a father blind to the danger that threatens them all. When the winds of war reach the peninsula, will the Matsuda family have the strength to defend their empire? Or will they tear each other apart before the true enemies even reach their shores? High on a mountainside of the edge of the Kaigenese Empire live the most powerful warriors in the world, superhumans capable of raising the sea and wielding blades of ice. For hundreds of years, the fighting of the Kusanagi Peninsula have held the empire's enemies at bay, earning their frozen spit of land the name Sword of Kaigen. Born into Kusanagi's legendary Matsuda family, 14-year-old Mamoru has always known his purpose, to master his family's fighting technique and defend his homeland. But when an outsider arrives and pulls back the curtain on Kaigen's alleged age of peace, Mamoru realizes that he might not have much time to become the fighter he was bred to be. Whereas the empire he was bred to defend may stand on a foundation of lies. Misaki told herself that she left the passions of her youth behind when she married into the Matsuda house. Determined to be a good housewife and mother, she hid away her sword, along with everything from her days as a fighter in a faraway country. But with her growing son asking questions about the outside world, the threat of the impending invasion looming across the sea, and her frigid husband grating on her nerves, Misaki finds a fighter in her clawing its way back to the surface. So I'm very excited to read this one because everyone, as I said, everyone has been raging about this book for years, and I have just been like, no, I'm not going to read it because you're all telling me to read it, so I'm not going to read it because I'm petty like that. Does anyone else get that? Like, they just tend to avoid, I feel like I'm going to be blinded by this time. They just tend to avoid the really popular books, even if they're told that it's, like, really, really good. Like, it's a different popularity to, like, Fourth Wing Light Lark. Like, it's actually a good book and actually worth your time. Yeah, I tend to do that, so I had to bite the bullet, and I'm like, this is the one that we're reading. I'm very excited to read this. I'm also a bit scared. I've heard nothing but positive things. I don't think I've ever heard a negative review of this book, and I'm very excited to read it. So yeah, I hope you are too. And that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Please join the Discord, follow me on the socials, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified every time I post. And with that, this video comes to an end. I hope you have written all the books down, you know, for your pre-orders and your library holds and whatever. And I will see you in the next one. Happy reading!